Bob Grubic and his engineering firm, HRG, is one of the best-known engineering companies throughout Pennsylvania, with expertise in multiple areas of engineering, including transportation, civil and water resources, and wastewater engineering. Bob has taken what was once a branch office, founded in Harrisburg in 1962, and built it into a 9-branch office with locations throughout the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Besides his abilities to be visionary in his approach and to manage people well, he has exceptional engineering skills that have allowed him to surface to the top of his peer group. Today, Bob is talking on the aging and deterioration of our infrastructure system, an issue that affects us all as we go through the approval process for our projects in central Pennsylvania. Not only does Bob know his material, he also has the insight from having worked with many of the different municipalities in this area, either as an engineer presenting the project or as the engineer reviewing the project for the specific municipality. It's a real pleasure to have Bob as our guest speaker for this month.
Let's discuss one of the major yet most overlooked problems facing our country today. It's aging infrastructure. The amenities we take for granted in our everyday lives, roads and bridges, water and sewer systems, our electrical and natural gas energy grids, all comprise our infrastructure system that we depend upon continuously. The problem is, because we take this vital infrastructure for granted, and in many cases it is out of sight, out of mind, the condition of much of these systems is dangerously critical. In Pennsylvania alone, our water and sewer systems will require over $36 billion in capital investment over the next 20 years, plus over $77 billion for ongoing operation, maintenance, repair, and debt payments, according to a 2008 report by the Governor's Sustainable Water Infrastructure Task Force. On the transportation side, 46% of Pennsylvania's roads and bridges are in poor or mediocre condition. 42% of Pennsylvania's bridges are structurally deficient or functionally obsolete. 21% of Pennsylvania's urban freeways are congested, according to a study entitled Report Card for America's Infrastructure, prepared by the American Society of Civil Engineers. So then, how do we address and solve these pressing infrastructure problems? These problems did not occur overnight and certainly won't be resolved quickly. The phasing and prioritization of rebuilding our infrastructure, as well as the costs, are staggering. What is needed, and needed immediately, is a laser-like focus on infrastructure at all levels of government, as well as within the private sector. We cannot wait for another bridge to collapse, another major water line to break, or another sewage treatment plant to malfunction. We must dedicate our energies and dollars with the same amount of fervor and political pressure that has been expended recently on other public programs. The infrastructure issue affects each and every person in our country and must be looked at as a true national crisis. Immediate funding of infrastructure projects is not only necessary to bring our systems into the 21st century, but to ensure the systems will serve our country well into the next century. In addition to governmental funding, public-private partnerships must be created to supplement and accelerate the rebuilding process. Current funding levels, while attracting media attention and amounting to billions of dollars, are not nearly enough to address the problem, and in some cases have been directed to marginally beneficial or even non-infrastructure projects. We all must share the financial burden of infrastructure development, but must recognize that the investment we make is not only in economic development and health and safety of our population, but in the quality of life in our country for future generations.
That was Bob Grubic, president of HRG, one of Pennsylvania's best-known engineering firms. As an expert in this field, Bob was willing to share with us today some of his insights on the aging and deterioration of our infrastructure system, which can only serve to help us as we try to push our projects further along in today's environment, subject to current ordinances and codes.